All right, guys, going to the gym. Today I'm just going to talk about a couple of things: AI and piracy. First one, AI. I was talking to somebody yesterday. It was getting paranoid about bloody AI. Oh, it could take over the world. Yeah, right. Simple thing: disconnect yourself from everything. A lot of the stuff that we experience is just drummed up by media for media's sake. When I look at a lot of the left or right media, it's just the same crap that's coming out of mainstream, just opinionated on one side or the other. And it doesn't mean I'm agreeing with either or even in the middle. I'm just talking about you might get 5 stories for the day. That's all that's happened in the world, guys. Only 5 stories out of everything. So just avoid it. It's garbage. It's garbage. And people keep regurgitating. I've seen something. Was it Constantine with something the giant guy? He was calling Constantine a grifter and whatever. I don't think Constantine's a grifter. I think he's roped into the politics that keep going around in circles. But the problem is they're all doing that, whether it's left or right. They're just continuously looping around because we've missed the communication bit in the middle where you tie it together. What you've got is just people politically work in 2 different directions. But anyway, that wasn't what we were talking about. So the AI things, I was got in a conversation yesterday, and I said, look, you know what? Just take your house to the 1950s. There you go. Disconnect a lot of the extra devices that you don't need or don't want. I mean, when I look at TV and stuff, I can't be bothered with the TV. I find even YouTube is excessive on the advertising to the point it's getting to that I don't really want to switch it on because it's just irritating. But the reality is, we've got too many adverts. We've got too many new shows that are political agenda orientated, and the quality is mediocre in many occasions. They're disappointing, they're boring, they're tedious, they're of low value. So with the rise of piracy, I can see why it's going up because quite simply, we're not getting money for value. It's like the CEOs and executive directors and whatever that make the decisions on these shows are just doing everything for as much money as possible for themselves with as little investment in the actual quality of stuff as possible. And you can see that even with, like, say, oh, I'll watch, I don't know, The Office. Okay, put The Office on. Think I'll watch it I'll watch it back to back from the start. Hang on, there's only series 5. Who does that? Isn't the whole point of these streaming services that you can watch the whole box set type thing? And I say, I'm not having a moan. I'm just saying this is literally what they're doing. And then you go, right, that one's over there. So I've got that one on Amazon. I've got that one over on Netflix. And that's on Hulu or whatever. You're sitting there going, do you know what? Their whole service was supposed to be a service. It's now an inconvenience. That's why we're getting piracy back. The other side of it being is with piracy, you can get the older stuff. Because the weird thing is, I think about this way, I've been thinking about this for years actually, is a lot of the older stuff, even, black and white stuff, there was a lot of good storylines and things when you go back. Where do you get it from? But for me, I would do things like, I'll tell you what I'm watching at the moment. These are all middle of the road. Monk, Quantum Leap, not Star Trek. Oh, Battlestar Galactica, Stargate, and Peep Show. And that's pretty much it. Because each one of those, I think Stargate's 150 episodes or something. But all of them, you probably go, oh, they're all middle of the road. It's like, yeah, because I'm normally doing something on a computer or something and have it on in the background. It's very rare I'll just sit and do watching a TV. I haven't been able to do that for a long time. There's been nothing that's kept me on the edge of my seat since I don't know when. There's nothing in the cinema that thinks, oh, I need to go and see that, because everything I've thought was like that for the last 20 odd years has been a disappointment. So my point being, I can understand why piracy is coming back, because A, you can get what you want. B, it's unfiltered in the sense of you can get all the episodes, not series 5, 1 to 4 is missing, 6 is over another system. So you can get what you want, where you want it, no adverts, hassle free, and there's server equipment out there, not that expensive. A few hundred quid can get you set up. They can work as a media server that does all your TV, does all your music and everything else. It doesn't go, would you like an Amazon subscription every 10 minutes? And I know you guys are going to go, oh yeah, but that's because you won't buy stuff. I'm a guy who buys vinyl. I've got the Hives album coming over as well. That's due out, I think it's on the 18th. That's very soon. Because I've actually bought it. I've got the CD and DVD coming. CD and DVD. CD and the vinyl. I've got the signed ones straight from the Hives themselves. But the point being is, I don't mind paying for a good product, but I'm paying a lot of money, or used to pay a lot of money, for mediocre products. I'm trying to prize the Netflix off my wife at the minute, because her and a neighbour watch it for the Korean shows, which gets me to the point. The Korean shows. Do I look Korean? No. Do I look Indian? No. Polish? No. German? Belgian? Turkish? No. Well, that seems to be most of what Netflix is producing these days. Why am I paying a premium for this stuff? Because this isn't knocking it, right, in the sense of, oh, he's a racist, he's right. No, I'm sick of seeing subtitles because it gives me sore eyes. But on top of that, it shows you they gone global and getting stuff done cheaply that they can sell everywhere for as little cost as possible. Because if you're launching it in, say, 40 countries or whatever, it doesn't cost much to make stuff, because you're selling it and selling it and selling it and selling it and selling it, and you're not offering quality anymore. Don't get me wrong, there is some good shows out there, but they are few and far between. There's some of the Polish and German stuff on the detective stuff's quite good. I did like, I'm gonna get into the shows, but the point being, I can see why Piracy is back, because I don't want to sit and watch subtitles every night, and I don't want adverts every 5 minutes, and I don't want low quality stuff, and I don't want stuff that's going to tell me what I should be thinking, and every lead character is now changing demographics and cultural stereotypes, or are they creating stereotypes? I don't know, but either way, I pay for the service. I'm not interested in getting involved in this stuff. I just want to relax and just put it on in the background and enjoy it. So I can understand why Piracy is back. Because the thing with Piracy is it's an open-ended thing. It's non-political. It just offers you what you want. Its motivation isn't even financial. I mean, if you go back to the old 90s, a lot of the piracy stuff was for piracy groups competing against each other to release software, music, TV shows, movies as quick as possible, and be the number one for spreading stuff. The motivation was spreading information. It wasn't about making as much money as possible for doing as little as possible. It was actually the opposite way around. A lot of people put a lot of effort in for nothing, because the world was a different place in the 90s. So I do get why Piracy's back. Do I agree with it? On many stuff I do. I know that sounds controversial, but I'll just swing it a little other way. The reason being is software as a service. I can afford an Adobe subscription, which I think is 20 quid a month or whatever it is. But if I was a student or a kid trying to learn graphic design or whatever, I don't think they need to be paying that extortionate amount every month. And I don't expect that if I pay 20 quid a month for something, that as soon as I suspend my service because maybe I lost my job or something, that you cancel my service because I've been paying for it for 5 years. You should be able to get it up to that point where you stopped using it. Owning the product. The same for EA games, the same for all this crap with bloody Sony and all those that have turned the industry into just a money pit for themselves while dismantling the quality. You know, like vinyl, having the vinyl's a very good piece, you know, it's yours, it's part of the music. I know it all sounds a bit retro, I suppose, but what I'm talking about is when you're just flicking through and just go, yeah, I'll listen to that, yeah, there's no real connection there. There's no cover on it. There's no depth to it. There's no new smell. And you don't own it. Yeah, but I've got to download. I've got to download. Yeah, you've got to download. When you die, all your downloads disappear with that phone. My vinyl collection goes on to my kids. Call me old-fashioned. I believe in owning products. I don't expect poor old record companies struggling on the back of Freddie Mercury and George Michael and got to be careful, got to pick people that are dead. All these other musicians that produced music a long time ago that are now deceased to keep milking money off their backs. I disagree with it. For a start, if I'm getting a check every week without doing any work, a bit like unemployment benefit, what's the incentive to go to work? What's the incentive to produce better music, better quality, something new? Very little. Very little. And that's probably why you see cost spiral for things, because of being able to write stuff off for tax. But anyway, yeah, piracy's back. AI, recommend using AI, but just keep it as a research tool. That's what I mainly use it for. I get it to read things for us and extract certain things for me and go and check the internet for things. But even then, you've got to go and validate it yourself, because they do sometimes have some weird fits. But ultimately, it's only going to take our lives over if we let it. This is what I was trying to explain to a friend yesterday, is like, you just switch everything off. Just, you know, unless it's starting to take over silos with things in there that can actually change the shape of the planet, I can only say, if we continue to get it into every bit of electronics, from a car to a phone to a computer to the traffic lights to the lights above us to the heating, cooling, everything else, then yeah, we deserve it for being so bloody stupid, leaving the door that wide open for something to walk in. Which was weird, because I was watching a show yesterday where there's these, they're called Rust. If you look on YouTube, there's these mini videos from Rust on it, because I'd had a nap for an hour and woke up when it was playing. But basically, somebody traveled fast in time in a spaceship or whatever, and they had two versions of themselves for whatever reason. They're little short sci-fi stories. But then I was thinking, like, maybe that's what AI does, because like like when it's not working, you go delete or just open another one and start again. Maybe in the future, the obsolescence will be humans, because we can't be rebuilt at the moment. But imagine if they started rebuilding humans and I go, oh, bloody hell, this one needs an update. This one's a bit thick, or oh my god, what's going to, you could get a weird reversal of the roles in the future. I was just thinking because this was a completely different mini sci-fi thing, but it was just where there was two versions of it. I just thought you can imagine AI trying to think, oh, God, version 2 is not very good. Version 3 is bloody always complaining. Version 4 seems depressed. Trying to work humans out to get the best human without understanding that there is no perfection. The perfection of humanity is to strive to be perfect. That's it. Let me go philosophical on you. Anyway, going to the gym. Catch you later. Cheers.